Hey, what's up, everyone? So, welcome to Day Trade with Tony, the 2023 Small Account Challenge. So, let's talk about this Small Account Challenge. What is it? What am I doing? What am I trying to achieve? So, we're starting the year with, starting the year. It's the 17th of January already, but so we're starting today, halfway through January, and we'll continue this throughout the year until we've actually got a sizable account that's equivalent to what I would normally trade with. But it's just to show that it is possible to trade with a small account if you're going to be disciplined. You have to be much more disciplined with a small account, trading in a small account, than you would with a larger account that I normally do. I keep using the analogy of the poker table analogy, and the reason I say that is when you're playing poker, if you've got a large stack, then you can afford to be looser with your hands that you play. You play a little bit looser. You might take a few, what potentially could be good hands if they fall for you, but you wouldn't trade them with a small stack. With a small stack, you're pretty much trading the top 9 cards on the deck. So, same thing here. With a small account, you want to be only trading A+ setups, and you don't want to be over trading. So, today, we traded three stocks. We took 3 trades, which is more than you should be doing. And if I'm being completely honest, the first trade we took pre-market was Tritium DCFC. They dropped, figures for calendar year 22. They've announced the largest ever sale. So some good bullish news, and we were looking for the move. It broke $2 for the first time, and we're looking for a move up. We got in for the break of the $0.25, $2.25. Didn't continue. So we exited for a very, very small profit, $10. So it covered the transaction costs. I think we made probably about $2 or $3 in terms of profit in net terms, in real terms. Then we traded Marathon Digital. Marathon Digital, we took a trade. I traded it the same pattern on my large account at the same time as I traded it on my small account. Inverse head and shoulders. I'll show that in a moment. Traded the inverse head and shoulders, and we held that until it made a move up. We made almost $150 on that, and then we traded bit mining. And bit mining moved up really, really nicely. So we traded bit mining. We made over $400, $460 on that. So what is it I'm trying to achieve? And I'll go through those trades in a moment. What is it I'm trying to achieve with this small account? Well, there is no set goal as such. Not like my main account where I have an annual goal. It's what I use for what I'm doing for a living. I've got an annual goal that I'm trying to achieve. I break that down per month, and I break that down further per day. On an average 20 trading days per month, etc., etc. So I'm not doing that with the small account challenge. I will do that once I get the small account up to, say, $30,000 in equity position. I will then treat it in a similar fashion. Effectively, I'll just kind of dispense with it and go back to only trading the main account rather than trading 2 big accounts. But the point that I'm making with the small account is that you want to be taking measured goals, and you want to be disciplined on when you get to those goals. Let's talk about what the actual goals are. So if we talk about what I set out in terms of a goal, let's just have a look at a typical goal that you could be setting. So I've got here, what am I looking for on a daily basis? Today we started with $2,500, $2,456 to be precise. We made $472 net, so that's $618 in gross profit, but after fees and charges, it's $572. So I'm looking at each day, finishing each day 105% of the previous day, i.e. what I'm looking for is 5% equity gains. Okay, so this is just a spreadsheet that I put out there that I'm looking for to set my goals on each day. So tomorrow I'll be looking for 150 because I've now got a $3,000 account. So now tomorrow I'm looking for $150. If I get more than that, great. Let's just say tomorrow I end up getting you know, 600, another $600. That will put me at 3,500 or whatever it is. And then it increases commensurately. What I would say here is you don't have to be genius to work out. It's slow but methodical gains. This is very similar to what you're looking for in terms of compounding interest and compounding effect if you're investing in the markets. So right now, looking at 5% per day, $150 doesn't sound like a lot. And I'm doing effectively 2 weeks of trading, just over 2 weeks of trading in January. So that should give me off a 2,500. I started with 2,456. So effectively, I should be doubling my money by the end of the month. That's the first month's goal. Double my money by the end of the month, just by setting myself a 5% goal per day. By the end of the following month, I want to be making $8,000 in February. So by doing that, starting off with just under $5,000, by the time we've got the gains on that, $250, moving it all the way up, by the end of the month, we should be hitting $600 per day. Now, to be fair, I've already hit $600 today. So this is realistic goals if I'm growing the account. Which, if I'm doing that 5% per day, by the end of February, will give me $8,000 in gains. If I'm not removing this from the account, it's not like my main account where I need the cost of living. This is a different account. I'm just growing this account to show how it can be done. Now, you might want to say that, okay, well, I need to take a wage out of this if I'm doing this full time. What you do is you take your salary out there and you have this position and this will come out of... If I put, for example, here I put $2,000, that will be my salary, and I do that again for on a monthly basis across the board, and let's say $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year. I might want to say it's $5,000 a month. You can then add that to the end of the calculations there, and we can start saying minus that there. So if we do similar sort of thing on each one, we're setting that I can take a wage on this of $5,000 a month after February. So first 2 months I don't take anything. You want to be giving yourself a chance to build up an account that's actually reasonable. So you take $5,000 a month in terms of overall gains. Sorry, minus the $5,000. You can see by the end of May, we've got a $50,000 account. We've got $100,000 account by the end of May. We're trading with $50,000 as we start May, and we've got $100,000 not even halfway through the year. So just by taking a 5% goal or a 5% gain that's all we need to be looking at. So that's the kind of things I would recommend that you do. If you've got a small account, map out your trades, map out what it is that you're actually doing, map out your gains, have a goal, set figures in terms of what your goals are, and being very conservative. I don't want to be aggressive with this account, because what I don't want to do is show you how not to trade. I want to show you how you should be growing your account. And 5% per day is still being, I would consider still being aggressive, but it's in a manageable aggression. It's a manageable level. If you're trying to gain 5%, that means you don't want to be losing more than 2%, 2.5%, 2-to-1 ratios. If that's the case, then if you lose 2.5% of your, most people say that you shouldn't risk more than 3% of your equity on a single trade, which is fine. If you've got a small account, you probably want to be risking a little bit more. just to grow your account. In terms of goals and in terms of max loss, etc., you want a goal of 5%. You have a max loss of 2.5% of your equity. If you lose 2.5%, then you get out. So if you're losing $75, you exit the position. If you're over 75, that's one way of looking at it. The way I look at it is I'm trading the patterns. So let's talk about the patterns. Let's actually have a look at what we did. So the first trade we took was pre-market. It was Tritium. So Tritium had that good news I mentioned. They were the largest order in the history, and they were ahead of goal for the calendar year. Obviously, the financial year is slightly different. So this moved up really, really well. You can see here it was a little under $1.50 closing of business on Friday. It did move up, and then as it started to move back up again here, we were taking notice. It pulled back, and then we saw this double bottom scenario, upwards trending. It's above the VWAP, double bottom scenario. So I thought, okay, this is moving up, and we got in here. It pulled back, but we held the position for the move up. We were looking for it to break 230. It didn't quite break 230, so on its way back down, we exited the position for a small profit. We made $10 out of it. We weren't in big size. We made $10. It then moved into the open and pretty much sold off. So we were right to exit the position, but we were also right in terms of the pattern here. Double bottom pattern is bullish, so we probably should have got in here for a little bit sooner, maybe 215. Instead, we got in at 220, and we're looking. So it's 5 cents on the move. It's not such a huge deal. Then we traded Marathon Digital. This was after the open. So the reason that we traded Marathon Digital, you can see here we've got the first shoulder and the head, and then I'm thinking this is moving up. It then pulls down, and I then recognized the shoulder, head, shoulder, so I held the position. I recognized that this was an inverse head and shoulders, and it as it moved then started to make its move up. Took a little bit of profit off, a little bit more just to and then I put a trailing stop in place as it moved up and then came back and it stopped me out. So we got just shy of $150. I think we were trading about just shy of 1,500 shares on that. So we took 500 off here, we took another 500 off here, and then we left 500 in with a trailing stop there. So we got stopped out. That's fine. It continued then to sell off before it made further moves later on in the day. What we did then tried is bit mining. So bit mining started to make its move up. It made a huge move up. So we traded this on the large account as well. We traded this on the large account here and here, and then we took a position on the small account whilst we were still in the position on the large account. So as this made a new high here, we had the pullback, made a new high. We went in for 2,500 shares, and we got out up at the top. As this moved up, we just exited the position, and we took 1,000 shares off. It moved up. As it started to pull back out, we exited for the rest. I think we put a trailing stop in place, and it stopped us out. So that's fine. We made over $460 on that move from the break of new highs here. This pullback, break of new highs here, and then the move up. $460. We don't need more than that. Quite frankly, that one trade a day is really the small account way. If sounds like a poet, one trade a day, small account way. I'll do that. So one trade a day is all you really need on a small account. It only takes one trade. So that's where we finished. I locked my montage, and then I went back to the main account. And $600 when my goal today was effectively $125, $130. More than 4 times goal. So it's a 20% gain on the day. So given that I was just under 2,500 and I've made $600 off 572, if you look at the net figures, that's more than a 20% gain on the day itself. So yeah, that's the small account. That's what we're doing at the moment. I'll be back at it tomorrow again, looking for that one trade that's going to give me my goal and beyond on the small account. We'll grow it incrementally, see how far we can get with the small account, and hopefully we'll be able to have a similar kind of data. If we can get 20%, great. But the aim is 5% or better. So as I keep saying throughout on my Discord, in the Day Trade with Tony community, you get green, stay green. But once you get to goal, you get out. And I was a little over goal before I took the bit mining trade, but it was moving up so consistently. When I got the pullback, I thought, okay, I'll try it with 2,500 shares, and because I had $2,500, I was able to take 2,500 shares on a $5 stock using the leverage, 6 times leverage, using the leverage to make those gains. So come join me tomorrow. We'll do it again 90 minutes before the market opens, and hopefully we'll get some nice pre-market action tomorrow. Not so much happening this morning in the pre-market, but hopefully we'll get some pre-market action tomorrow, and we'll have a nice green day across the board. Come find out. Look forward to seeing you there 90 minutes before the market starts.